Hello indie game fans, just about to squeeze this one out before the end of the year, so here are the top 10 indie games you might have missed in November 2019. Starting with Referral Crown of Horns, a weird West top-down shooter about an unlikely duo of a lawman, gunslinger, and a witch.
Those horn freaks, and bang, the beast drops cold. Swaps to a shotgun and puts down 3 more. Oh, whilst reloading, freaking legend. I'd trade my horse just to see him in action. Yeah, they say he was cursed, dead, brought to life by magic.
While your original mission was to kill Sid Witch, our protagonist was killed by demons before he could accomplish that, but was brought back from the dead as Revenant by the Witch, uniting against a common foe.
Carolina, he would appear, make a slaughterhouse, and vanish. He chose his path carefully, always biting what he can chew.
The pure style of this game is impressive, with the use of colours and enemy and level designs, and I do particularly love the art in the cutscenes. The occult theme is well done, together with the encroaching demon hordes, but the game is set in distinct levels with an arcadey feel to each. Still, pretty slick with great feeling guns. Sigma Theory Global Cold War hit 1.0 in November and is a strategy game where you manage your country's Sigma division, dedicated to the harnessing of the paradigm-shifting Sigma Theory, which promises unfathomable advances in science, medicine, and technology. Naturally, the usage of spies and secret agents to obtain this information is key, with a connected web of espionage, sabotage, kidnapping researchers, diplomacy, and more. Very clever systems, and one for strategy fans. The action platformer Roa was perhaps unduly burdened by the pedigree of its developer, behind titles such as Wings of V and I Wanna Be the Boshi, challenging platformers in their own right, which set expectations quite high. This is an Egyptian-themed fantasy action platformer with its share of chimeras and monster girls, where you explore the planet and uncover the mystery of what is draining its life force. However, upon launch, the game was quite buggy and seemed to have not been play-tested extensively, which, combined with the developer patching and making wild changes to boss difficulties, rubbed some people the wrong way. However, in the month or so since then, things seem to have stabilized, so perhaps one to check out. Some Distant Memory is an adventure game set 300 years after an apocalypse, where you play as a researcher exploring the old ruins, joined by an AI with the ability to recreate human memories based on relics. It is a poignant tale with an ecological message, but worth a play if you love narrative games, since it is a pretty emotional and touching experience as you explore the lives of this family. Motel is a very NES looking action platformer where the gimmick is that you have 4 sets of armor that you can switch between on the fly, each granting a different ability, which comes in handy during the platforming and combat sequences. There's a loose story around trying to stop the mischief of baby demon foxes, but bravo on the art and game design in terms of nailing that retro inspiration. When you talk about side-scrolling beat-em-ups, games like Streets of Rage, Final Fight and Castle Crashers come to mind, and if you are interested in those, the takeover might just be your cup of tea. This has a cel-shaded art style with pseudo 3D environments and backgrounds as you fight your way through 7 levels either solo or in local co-op. There are some fantasy elements like the ability to summon fire as well as guns, missiles and more. Awesome comic book cutscenes, but a very well-made game in the genre. Another cel-shaded title is Skybox Zak, a combo-based action platformer where it is about being stylish and getting the high score. Enemies are helpfully color-coded, red, blue and yellow, corresponding to the colored buttons on an Xbox controller, and tapping these in the right sequence feels great, with some tricks thrown in the mix with grey enemies and spiked pits where you have to use your air dash. It's pretty fast and hectic, and not so much of a platformer since your character snaps to enemies in range, but feels pretty good so far. If you like trains and management games, Railroad Corporation will be a no-brainer. Build and expand your corporation across 19th century North America as you build tracks, link cities, buy and sell goods, upgrade your trains and more. There is a main story campaign as well as a sandbox mode, but a combination of the systems and the theme is excellently done. Demon Crawl is basically Minesweeper RPG, which is something that I love indie games for. To be able to take a familiar concept and put your own spin on it is not exactly the most original concept, since the core game must be recognizable, but the addition of loot, NPCs, equipment and so on are a delight, although these do throw the traditional game off. More of these, please.
Minesweeper gone rogue.
Through dangerous forests, blizzards and muck, my grandson must travel in search of his luck.
Yaga is an action-adventure RPG set in a world of Slavic folklore, which is the main highlight, combined with an interesting storytelling system, decent combat, and awesome music. Playing as Ivan, handpicked in a prophecy by the Baba Yaga to witness the destruction of the Tsar's kingdom, he then gets sent on impossible missions by said ruler in a bid to get him indirectly killed. The world of Slavic mythology is something that Western and Asian audiences have become introduced to with the prominence of games like The Witcher, so to see a game like this really double down on that is pretty neat. The combat can be a little bit iffy without much variety, and upgrades which are rather run-of-the-mill, but it works, and the enemy designs are great nonetheless. The awesome, very Eastern European sounding music is also very good, and overall I would give this somewhere around a 7/10, taking the number 1 spot. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, share and subscribe, check out the recommended playlist or the best pick for you, and I will see you after the jump.